Talk Radio with your host G, and we're back on the YouTube screen for a change. You know, not behind the scenes on the podcast. So yeah, we're back. What's good? I hope you guys have been good. We've been alive. That is all I can say. No, I'm just joking, guys. I've also been good. And yeah, we are here to grace your screens. So as they would say, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Jokes, guys. Jokes. But yeah, I believe I promised. I actually don't remember. Let me not say I promised, but I did say I would like to post or upload another video. So we can now, and yeah, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy my presence on the screens in this current momentous in time. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about a few things, some random, some relevant, and then some of them are actually relevant to my life and to what I'm trying to achieve. And yeah, I just hope you guys do stay tuned as now I will give you a young breakdown of what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so first up on the agenda is a young review of my podcast, Real Talk Radio, with your host Chi. Obviously, I just ended season 1 because hell, it was about time to just let go of just let go. Sometimes you just gotta let go and look ahead of time and see a fresh start, a new beginning. You know what I'm saying? So just and we have come to the end of the road. Season 1 needs to come to a close. It's been real, it's been great, but now we just need to touch base with the touch bases. And I know I'm not making any sense whatsoever, but no, basically what I want to say, guys, is thank you so much for your support, and thus far it's been quite the journey, I won't lie. As it stands, the last time I checked, I am sitting on 1,250 plus listens, so that's great, and I'm obviously pushing to reach 500 listens. 1,500 listens before the start of season 2. So guys, once you finish watching this video, you know what to do. You must go to the podcast and start listening, even if it's just to 2 podcasts. That's all I'm asking, guys. I'm not asking for too much. Listen to 2 podcasts that you haven't listened to before, and just contribute to the greatness of a Real Talk Radio. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all in all, I think it's been a great season. I think I ended it really well with my Women's Month tribute. Shout out to all the ladies who just came on, graced the stage, and did the damn things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's been a great experience, challenging at times, tiring, exhausting, to be quite honest, but we keep soldiering through. I've received so many positive comments and so much encouragement, so I'm really grateful for that. So thumbs up to everybody for a great season, everyone who's come on as guests, just gracing the stage again, like I said. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thanks guys, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, just leave a comment down below about what you think of Real Talk Radio with your host G, where I can improve, because obviously there's always room to improve. So whatever thoughts, positive, constructive criticisms that anyone has, please leave them down below in the comment section, or hit me up on my Instagram, on my Twitter, wherever you can find me. Just hit me up with whatever words of encouragement or words of, you know what, gee, I think you can improve here. I mean, I know quality control is a thing I need to work on, which I'm still working on, but yeah, you know, sometimes you just get those days where it's just like, ish, what do you do, baby? What do you do? But you just gotta do something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, with time, we'll definitely be more consistent in terms of the quality of the audio. But you know, again, something we're working on, working towards. But in God we trust, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you once again for just, you know, being the anchor of my podcast. Okay, and then another thing that I just wanted, you know, to come on and talk about was my Hajj. I know I said I'll try post updates on my Instagram stories, but you guys, shame. Women's Month just had me in a heap of a lot of, you know, just a lot of commitments outside my personal Hajj, my personal pilgrimage, which I still did, obviously. But in terms of actually, you know, keeping a record to share with you guys, that was kind of a challenge. But this week I decided to go see, you know what, I'm taking a break off life in general. Like anything to do with just work that needs to be put out there. I was just like, you know what, let me just take a break, let me do what I can do. But also I was just like, no, actually I need to rest. So like this week, like I wanted to go for a jog, right? I've been wanting to. I was like, okay, Monday it was cold, I think Tuesday was also borderline cold, but like yesterday was okay, and today was perfect. Today was quite warm, and I could have gone today, but I was just like, yo, you know what, let me just actually just rest properly, let me recuperate and start off on a clean slate next week, you know, just going, just, you know, full force. So yeah, this week I was just like, nah, let me take a break from the exercise aspect, even the reflection. Like, not to say I don't reflect, but it's not as meditative, if I may say, as my previous weeks, because I was just like, you know what, just take a week where you don't think about too many things. Pick one thing that you're going to focus on, or try to actually, and then we'll, you know, we'll take it from there. But like, I think I'm the type of person who needs to like have multiple things going on at the same time in order to just maintain that balance and that consistency. So I was just like, you know what, once the podcast once season two is up and running, I'm also going to be up and running, literally. So yeah, in terms of that, but otherwise it's been going quite well, actually. I think, I'd like to believe, I think I'm making peace with a lot of things. Like, I have a lot of questions, but like at some point you kind of realize that, not that they're not worth asking, but it's just like, okay, you ask them, people give you answers, whatever the case may be, and then what? So I'm just making peace with the fact that if someone wanted to tell me the truth, they would have done so from the jump. Any hidden secrets, any lies, they told them for a reason. I've just accepted that people will be people, and there's really nothing I can do about it. Just respect their decisions and just not letting their decisions affect my life in a negative way, because I think as people we tend to internalize a lot of people's actions, whether towards us or just like in general, because sometimes we feel like whatever actions they've, you know, done are towards us. Meanwhile, it really isn't you, you know, it really isn't you. It's just them and just how they are, and just gotta accept that, you know what, this is how people are, and you just, you know, find a way of moving forward. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm learning, or trying to learn, or trying to, like, you know, move forward with in my life, in terms of just how I deal with people in general. Like right now I'm going through a period or a phase that I call being on chill. Like, guys, I used to be high energy. I used to be extremely high energy. Now I'm just like legit, I'm on chill. I'm just relaxed. And I don't know, I just don't want too much from life at this moment in time. I have no expectations of other people, only expectations of myself, I think, at this moment in time, in terms of where I'm trying to go, especially like with my podcast. I have exciting things coming up for my podcast, so that's what's keeping me going. But in terms of other things, I'm really just on chill. As I've said, we are relaxated, we are relaxed, and we're just enjoying living in the moment. You know what I'm saying? We're actually trying to, like, I think I hardly think about the past. Like, I try to, but like, they really, my memory, the archives are dusty. The archives are extremely dusty. So it's just like, hey, just look forward into the future. But sometimes I feel like I look too far into the future, but not that it's a bad thing, but it's just like, what, enjoy the present moment as well. So yeah, that's that. But I will try to share little aspects of my Hajj with you guys. Like, I'm really just taking it as it comes. Like, at the beginning I wanted it to be like a whole planned out thing, but I realized that certain processes that we go through in life don't need you to overanalyze or overplan. You just kind of need to go with the flow and know what the basis of what you're doing is, and just let the spirit lead you. So yeah, that's that. Okay, then a couple weeks back on my Twitter, I posted a tweet, something along the lines of, you should know your love language and stick to it, both as an individual and in like within a partnership. And yeah, that's that. And like, it actually got me thinking, like, I just posted that because I think I was like, observing, I don't know what I was observing, clearly other people's relationships or just relationships in general. And I was just like, actually, people don't stick to their love languages. And like, that's a problem. Obviously, there's a whole debate around love languages, whether it's legit or not. But like, hypothetically, let's say it is legit. It's a thing of, once you know what your love language is, you must stick to it. Because I find a lot of people seeking or wanting what other people have in their relationships, if that makes sense. So hypothetically, I'm me, right? And I have a partner, and I see another couple living their best life or whatever, and like, I take that and internalize it and like, ask, why is my relationship not like that? And like, one thing I've learned to understand about relationships is the fact that every relationship has a unique dynamic to it. It's unique to the individuals involved in that relationship, in that partnership. So if you are here, you are looking at someone else's relationship, you're going to be unhappy in your own. Just focus on you, focus on your own, and you're finna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think too many times we look outside of ourselves for happiness or for contentment or whatever the case may be, when actually happiness lives inside, it lives within. So yeah, guys, know your love language and stick to it. And then, like, funny enough, it actually made me do like, a quiz, a young test thing online with this one site. I'll leave the link in the comments section, well, in the description rather, should I say. But yeah, the results were quite amusing. I found them quite amusing. Like, my highest was like quality time, and like that was 33%. Then like words of affirmation and acts of service were like a tie for 27%. And then like receiving gifts was 13%. And then this one made me laugh, guys. I was just like, in the moment I was ripped. And basically physical touch, it was 0%, guys, a solid 0%. I was just like, that sounds like me. Like, I'm not really a touchy person. Like, I can adapt if a person's touchy. Not that, like, I like people in my space all the time. I'm very selective about who and when a person is in my space. But yeah, physical touch, I'm really not a PDA person. Like, don't get me wrong, I can do PDA, but it's not my natural formula. It's not my go-to, because I'm just like, I like my space. I was an only child for the longest time, so I was used to having my own space. And funny enough, like, someone posted on their status on my WhatsApp about whether you'd like get married to someone and like live in like separate houses, separate, like, dwelling places. I'm just like, oh, I'm not even going to lie to you. I see myself being that person, because it's just like, yeah, I love you, but like, do we really need to live under the same roof? And like, okay, fine, maybe like not living under the same roof is a bit extreme, but definitely having separate bedrooms or separate beds, because I look at my bed sometime and I'm just like, now one day we must get married and share a bed. Wow, I don't know how my parents do it, guys. I'm just like, could never be me. Could never be me, could never be me, could never be me. I'm just joking. Maybe someone will come into my life and change that, but for the time being, I'm just like, nah, it's a no from me. So yeah, guys, know your love languages and stick to them. And like, also what I've found is that you need to adapt the definitions of these things, because quality time, it'll give you the list of things and definitions, but adapt to it. You don't have to take everything word for word for word, because like, in as much as quality time means, quality time doesn't mean you need to be in my physical presence. Like, I just appreciate the time spent, the time on the thought spent on, trying to whip up something to, like, for me. It's not that necessarily we must be in the same place within close proximity, but yeah, it's just the fact that you're putting time aside, because time is valuable, guys. You can never get time back, and I feel like time is the biggest sacrifice you can make for anyone, and I'm always grateful for any time that anyone puts aside for me, because it's just like, you just wasted 6 hours of your life, trying to spend time with me, trying to have this conversation. Like, I'm not gonna take that for granted, because number one, you could have been spending those 6 hours doing something else. Like, we forget how precious life is and how many commitments, we all have towards various aspects of our lives. So never take anybody's time for granted. Always appreciate it, guys. Always appreciate it. So yeah, know your love language, stick to it, and be happy. But anyway, guys, let me now move on to more important things. And the more important things that I need to move on to is telling you guys about season 2 of Real Talk Radio with your host G. So yeah, obviously season 2 starts this coming Monday the 7th of September 2020, if you did not know. So yeah, very keen on season 2. Obviously, we've changed the face of Real Talk Radio slightly, I think. Okay, maybe it's not slightly, but we've just revamped, bad gal Riri out on these streets. I'm just joking. But yeah, we've just, re-imaged ourselves, if I can say. So yeah, but obviously, again, same format. Everything stays the same. Just, a little bit more action, if I may say. I'm just joking. But yeah, no, like, same content, obviously a few changes here and there in terms of how I want to approach it. Obviously, like, I realized that some topics we really need to go in depth with it, especially like with relationship rehab Fridays. So this is what I've decided, guys. First of all, yeah, relationship rehab Fridays, I'm going to have like the same topic, but like part 1 and part 2, and I'm like really excited for next week's episode, because again, that's my first part 1, part 2, and the reason is because this guy talks a lot, and like he makes sense when he speaks, but he just talks a lot. He just has a lot to say, and like, you need to really dedicate sufficient time to just zoning into what he has to say. So I was just like, you know what, nah, ain't no way I'm going to drop a 1 hour podcast of you saying what you are saying. And like, yo guys, you think I talk a lot. This guy out talks me, if I may say. He really out talks me. I'm just like, yo, I'm just there. Like, you'll hear me say, yeah, yes, agree. But in terms of actually saying anything of substance, you won't hear my voice, guys. You won't hear my voice. Or, yeah, no, definitely do tune in for part 1 and part 2 of, next week's relationship rehab episode. Yeah, but like in future, let's say I do have an episode, a solo episode, the following week I want to have an engagement with people. So guys, I need you to engage with me. Like, this is not just me, like, we need to engage with each other, you know what I'm saying? So whatever episode I drop following week definitely needs to have like some sort of engagement from you guys, the good people of Real Talk Radio, with your host G. So that's the plan. Obviously, I'm just going to see how that goes. Hopefully I get a great response. So definitely hit me up in the DM, hit me up wherever. And yes, let's do the damn things that need to be done. And then obviously it's September, so I want to do a Heritage Month tribute. Obviously you guys can look forward to what that's going to be about. But yeah, I just want to, just dig deep into our roots as a people, and just have different people from different countries sharing different aspects of their culture. Further details shall be dispatched on the podcast that I shall release on Sunday, hopefully. And then obviously October is like is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I'm probably going to do something for that. And then in November I'm back with another tribute month. This time it's going to be a Men's Month tribute, and same thing as what happened in Women's Month, a different male host on each and every episode. And yeah, it's just going to be great, guys. You know the greatness that is Real Talk Radio, so really just expect greatness. Just expect greatness, okay? And then I don't know if I mentioned something about starting a podcast network, but yeah, basically yours truly is in the process of creating my own podcast network, and I really just want to create a space for other podcasters to come on where we just share a common network and just do great things. Like, obviously I have hopes and dreams for it. It's still in the pipeline, but it is going to be a thing. We manifest these things. So yeah, MPLKA Podcast Network is going to be a thing. And if any of you guys are actually interested in starting a podcast but need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support, just again, hit me up. I'm here to guide you to greatness, steer you to greatness. And like, I'd really love it if a lot of people did join my network and just made podcast culture, especially here in Africa, a big thing, because I think that's my ultimate goal. That is where I'm trying to go with these things. So definitely hit me up if you're interested in starting your own podcast and would like to join the network. I officially want to launch it next year. Again, right now everything is just still in the pipeline. Obviously I have the logo and everything set. I think creating the creative process, I think, is like the easiest, but obviously just like putting your plans into actions, that's where, the labor and the hard work really comes in. So still in the pipeline, still in the process, but yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to for next year. So yeah, obviously I cannot dispatch too much information, but yeah, that's that. And then lastly, before I wrap it up, because I feel like I've spoken for longer than was necessary, like, guys, sometimes I look at how the time passes and I'm just like, what were you saying for 45 minutes, G? Like, what were you saying? Were you saying anything that makes sense in the lives of other people or even in the life of yourself? Like, wow, in your own life, do you make sense? So, yeah, before I continue rambling on, just to, the cherry on top of this beautiful cake that has been, this video. I'd like to drop a few podcast recommendations because obviously we're trying to grow the culture, guys. That's the ultimate goal, that's the ultimate dream, growing the culture and just, seeing it flourish in our midst. So, yeah, podcast recommendations. The first podcast recommendation on my list is obviously, yours truly, Real Talk Radio with your host G. Links will be down there below. You know what to do: like, comment, subscribe, do the damn things that need to be done. But yeah, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, charity begins at home, so obviously have to hit myself up with a mention. So yeah, definitely do continue tuning in to my podcast if you haven't already. And obviously, most importantly, go and tell your friends to join the culture. They must hop on board and, be part of podcast culture and, do the damn things. I'm going to hit you with my lines over and over and over again. But yeah, definitely do continue supporting and listening in to Real Talk Radio with your host G. Then my second recommendation is, again, charity starts at home, so I have to hit my sis up with a big ass shout out. Shout out Anna, be here to support and to also grow your movement. So yeah, Anne Chisa with her Root of the Science podcast. She's also doing amazing things. It's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, like, kind of centered podcast where she interviews Africans in STEM, within the STEM field, and just gives them the platform to kind of delve deeper into their experiences and into what their specific area of expertise is about. Because again, science is, beyond the numbers, it's beyond what we see on paper. It really is a way of life for a lot of people, so she kind of just sheds light onto that. So if you're interested in the sciences, want to know more about different areas, definitely do tune into the Root of the Science podcast with your host Anne Chisa. And then thirdly, yeah, 1, 2, 3. The third recommendation is Good Morning Bro, and that's a podcast by Mpendulo Tembe. And yeah, he just really covers a lot of, social, political topics, if I may say. And like, it's just him and his thoughts, and like, he really does share some interesting insights and perspectives. And like, I don't know, he's just a very well articulated guy, and I just really like and enjoy his, like, his manner of engaging on his podcast. So definitely also tune into Good Morning Bro. Again, guys, the links to their podcast I will leave in the description, so definitely go and have a listen. Just check them out, guys. Check them out. I think there's something that everyone has to offer, and yeah, do the damn things that need to be done. And then the fourth recommendation are a group of three ladies, I believe, who have started a podcast called Hectic, the Hectic podcast, and it's like again, like also politically centered, if I may say, to a great extent. But they just, share their personal experiences, and like their most recent podcast was just them sharing their experience as black girls going to independent or private schools here in South Africa. And obviously earlier on in the year there was that whole outrage about the racism that's taken place within private or independent schools here in South Africa. So they kind of share their experiences, and yeah, like they're a very interesting group of young ladies, very well articulated as well. And they have some interesting insights and perspectives, so do give them a shout out. Again, their deets shall be in the description. And then lastly, I was just like, okay, fine, obviously the goal is to promote South African or African podcasts, but I won't lie, I do enjoy a fair share of American podcasts as well. And one podcast that's really, I don't want to say touched my heart, maybe I'm going to be a bit dramatic if I say that, but like one that I really do appreciate is $1,000,000 Life Lessons by Prince Donnell and Dana Chanel. And yeah, they just come on to give the good people the good word about from like how to like run your business. They give you tips and tricks, and like they share their personal experience of what's worked for them, and what's bound to work for other people, especially like if you're trying to start up your own company, and just any like tips to success in life in general. So yeah, definitely do look up $1,000,000 Life Lessons. Like their podcasts are really long, but they're really interesting, and I've taken some valuable lessons from that. So yeah, that's my podcast recommendation list later on this month, hopefully, crossing fingers. Hopefully I'm not too caught up, but I do want to drop another YouTube video where I just share with you guys podcast culture and how to listen to podcasts, because it's all well and good for me to tell you to go listen to them, but you're like, okay, yo, gee, how do I even? So don't worry, towards sometime in this month of September, I should be able to hit you guys up with a how to listen to podcast video. So yeah, guys, that's that. Thank you for staying to this point. I know I go on and on. Like, actually, you know what? I need to stop this habit. I talk unnecessarily. Like, even now, this comment of me talking unnecessarily is just, it proves the point that I talk unnecessarily at times. But anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. You guys actually speak my love language because you're taking the time to watch this video. So lots of love from me to you guys. I love you, love you, love you. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in to this YouTube video. And yeah, again, hit us up with a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, go tell your friends to come and watch and subscribe and like and share and everything if they are not on board the culture that we're trying to build over here, you know what I'm saying? So definitely do spread the word. Everything is in the description. Also hit us up with a follow on Instagram. I'm still contemplating a Twitter account. We shall cross that bridge when we get there. But definitely for podcast, for my podcast network, I will be on Twitter as soon as that's up and running. But in the meantime, hit me up with a follow if you're not already following me on Instagram or Twitter at Gertrude Mbelega. And then at Real Talk Radio with G, like WG, it is written here, so don't worry. But yeah, definitely hit the podcast page with a follow. And I shall be keeping you guys updated and posted with everything, and obviously just stay tuned to Real Talk Radio. And obviously, actually forgot to mention this: if you want to support with donations, if you really do, if you're feeling generous, if you have a rich uncle or a rich aunt somewhere out there who can just hit us up with a donation, please do support the podcast in whatever way you can, by whatever means are possible. But yeah, thank you once again for the support thus far. We hope that we flourish once again in season 2. And yeah, guys, that's it from me, your host G, on a Real Talk Radio, out here doing the dumb things that need to be done.
Sweet Lord, please have mercy. Baby Jesus, please save us. I know I used up my 3 favors. Back to sending like a week later. New car, speed racer, copper crib, need acres. Most of all, we all need prayer. Karma coming, beware. I don't know where I'm going, but I hope I'm on the right path. Life will hit you with a light jab. Mike Tyson, strike back. You niggas going out slight sad. Boy, I'm all about my bag. New drip, I grab. I just wanna get my life back.